everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Pip and today I'm going to be doing a review for episode 4 of Hawkeye. So if you don't know, on my channel I talk about like movies and TV shows and everything I've been watching. I just did a reaction to the first teaser for the new Spider-Verse movie, so go check that out. I also do Doctor Who content. I basically talk about loads of stuff. Episode 4 of Hawkeye premiered and I actually watched it in the car on the way to school this morning because it takes about half an hour to get there and it dropped about 10 minutes early, so I watched like 10 minutes or so getting ready. But when I tell you I screamed at the ending, I actually screamed. Like, it was crazy. Like, I knew this was coming because of the Black Widow post-credit scene, but I'm so excited. So I'm going to start at the beginning. There will be spoilers in this episode, so I really like at the beginning that we basically pick up as soon as the cliffhanger and when Jack is like putting the sword to Hawkeye's face. I didn't do a review of last week's episode. Sorry about that. I will, maybe I'll be talking about it a bit in this episode. But the cliffhanger is basically Jack has a sword to Hawkeye's face and Jack notices who he is and he's like sorry, and then I don't think Jack's really the main villain. I do still think the mum is the main villain. She's kind of like questioning Hawkeye and Kate, obviously, about the fact that she's hanging around with an Avenger, which to be honest she kind of is. She's not an Avenger, but she is a bit of a superhero, to be honest. So like I think the mum, I do get why the mum's saying that, but I do actually think the mum is kind of the mum and then kingpin of this series. Like, I do think that she will become a villain, but they kind of leave after her being a bit serious. And Natasha is brought up a lot in this episode. Like, every couple of minutes we hear a mention from Natasha. And obviously they are hinting at Yelena's return, which is the cliffhanger. And sorry about that, but it's a spoiler review, so I'm gonna talk about it. And I really liked how they handled it in this episode. I thought that was really during this episode they kind of Kate and Clint watched some Christmas films, which I thought was really, really cute and really, really sweet. I thought that was cool. I like how kind of there was a lot of action scenes in this episode. The kind of first part of this episode was quite quiet, stuff was happening but there wasn't any pure like action, but then right at the end there was like a good 10-15 minutes of action, and kind of Kate, she meets these like people who I think it's kind of, I don't know what they were doing some kind of fighting. I think it was to do some kind of like fantasy like I don't know, something nerdy that I would probably do. And one of them was working for the police and she needed Hawkeye's trick arrows back. So she went and basically asked, can I have them back? And one of the characters, she was a lesbian or bi, or she was attracted to girls. And I really like that, we've got a character in this series that was mentioned. She was like, my wife gave it to me, and I was like having a bit of a moment. I was like, yes, because we got some LGBT representation in the Eternals. So one of the characters, he is gay. And I'm liking that we're getting more LGBT rep. Like, I'm really happy that for the LGBT community and that we're getting more rep. We still haven't had any trans rep yet, but I think it's coming. We're getting one step at a time. But I thought that was nice, and basically she got his trick arrows from the police department. I thought it was really cool. And then basically Hawkeye and Kate, Kate shone in this episode. Kate and Yelena are going to be such a good pair once like Hawkeye and like, I need Clint and Yelena, they've had their little bit of their fight, pew pew, but they're trying to get this object that was at the Avengers compound that was stolen. Hawkeye was supposed to go to the apartment, but then Kate went in and it actually turns out that it was Maya's like apartment, who is obviously one of the main villains of the series, who's Echo. I'm really excited for the Echo TV show. I think Echo is going to be really, really good. And I'm really, really happy, and kind of we're wandering around and then they have a bit of a fight, and then Hawkeye is fighting this person who we saw a little bit in promo art, who was wearing this like mask and then whips it off, and then it's kind of Yelena. And we don't see her face, we just see like the Black Widow stuff, like the kind of stuff that they used to fight. And obviously I don't think Clint knows that is Hawkeye's sister, that's Black Widow's sister. I think he knows the technology. Because he didn't outright say that's Natasha's sister. Obviously they're not technically sisters, but they are sisters. And I really like that he didn't mention, but I like how interconnected the Marvel projects are getting. The fact that, we're getting things that, like, from the movies, the post-credit scenes from the movies are connected to the TV shows. I really, really like this. I think next year is going to be quite a big year for interconnectivity, because obviously when Miss Marvel, she'll then be in, like, obviously, like, Monica Rambeau, she was in WandaVision, and she's going to be in she might be in Miss Bolt, but she'll be in the new Captain Marvel film. I'm just really liking this. I really liked the whole fight at the end. I thought it was so well choreographed. Like, all the fighting, it was just absolutely perfect. We didn't get that much of Maya in this episode. We got a little bit from her, like, assistant guy, who's a bit below her in the ranking. And I did kind of expect Kingpin to turn up. I don't think he's going to turn up until, like, the post-credit scene of the final episode. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. I just thought it was really good, you know when you just watch a TV show episode and it's like, I love you. Thank you to the people that are making this. Like, the first 2 episodes, they were good. There wasn't that much action, so I didn't love them that much. But oh my goodness, this is going to be one of my favourite Marvel shows. I can feel it. It's definitely above Falcon and Winter Soldier. It's above What If. It's getting to WandaVision and Loki territory. Loki's my favourite Disney Plus TV show so far. I loved that show so much. It was just so timey-wimey, and I loved Doctor Who, so it felt so similar to that. And I just thought this episode, it was so good. And I love the down-to-earth moments. I love that kind of Hawkeye's wife helped him a bit, like, figuring stuff out. I thought that was really, really good. And I'm really interested to see what's going to happen next episode. I don't really know, like, there hasn't been that many leaks or anything, and I haven't heard anything about the series, really. And I do feel like at some point we're going to get a post-credit scene, definitely on the last episode. But I can see there being a season 2 following Kate, and maybe even Yelena, like, I don't know. I think they're setting up a friendship between those two. Like, I think her and Hawkeye will fight. Like, Hawkeye, they'll have pew-pew moment. But I do think eventually they'll calm down, they'll all become friends, it will all be good. I just love Hawkeye, this series. It's just so good, and I can't believe we're getting so much more content soon, and No Way Home is coming out next week. I'm going to see it on the Thursday, which it opens on the 16th in England. No, the 15th, which is the Wednesday. But I'm going to see it on the Thursday. But I don't really have anything else to say. I really love the episode. I'd really recommend it. But yeah, I'll see you soon.